Hi, welcome. Today we are looking at another miracle. Jesus healed the deaf from the book of Mark, chapter 7. And we shall look at the fulfillment, which is the meaning behind this miracle. So, just from the book of Mark again, is from verse 32 to 34. And they brought to him a man who was deaf and had an impediment in his speech. And they begged him to lay his hand upon him. And taking him aside from the multitude privately, Jesus put his fingers into his ears, and he spat and touched his tongue. And looking up to heaven, he sighed and said, Ephphatha, that is, be opened. So this is a great miracle Jesus performed. It happened in real time when Jesus was on earth, and that miracle for Jesus is a design. Like a man going out to build a house, he made the design of the house, then he built the house according to the design. When the house is completed, it's become the fulfillment of that design. So Jesus again intentionally did this miracle. He heals the deaf because for the fulfillment time, Jesus will heal spiritual deafness. And not just for one person, for many, for generation upon generation, nation upon nations, kingdom upon kingdom, Jesus will heal in great numbers. From the moment of his resurrection to the end of time, Jesus will heal all type of people. And what is spiritual deafness? So let's just say for me, if I was young and I was falling in love, then I would say to my boyfriend, I love you, right? And the boyfriend who heard that would understand that, oh yes, this girl loves me. She had some feeling in her heart for me. She had feelings for me. She loves me. And so if he understands all that, right, then he heard it. He's got physical hearing, and he can hear, and he hear, and he understands it as well. So he completely hears it. Now, if let's say my husband, actually he is a mathematician and he had a PhD. So his level of math is like here, and my level of math down here. So if he give me an equation or whatever, I just make it up. For example, he said XYZ equal 2XY plus 3AZ. If he give me that, right, I will hear it with my physical ear, and I do not understand it with my level of intelligence. I would heard that, yes, but cannot understand it. So you can say that you hear it physically, but you do not understand it. So you haven't completely heard it. Now, spiritually, Jesus Christ is the Word of God, as is said in the Bible. There, in the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So Jesus Christ, the Word of God, Jesus Christ has spoken in parables, and all that Jesus Christ spoken have been written in Mark, Luke, John, and Matthew. All four gospel is here spoken, given, just like my husband give me an equation. Now, Jesus speak once when he was alive then, when he was alive on earth here. But he spoke as a God, with God level, as authority, as the Son of God, as the Word of God, with that authority. So Jesus spoke with his level. And Jesus speaks not for one generation, for all generation until the end of time. And so, do we hear it? Do we understand it? So, if we read the Bible and we read all the parables, it means we have heard it. We know the parables. We heard it. If we don't understand it completely, then we haven't actually heard it. So there are levels of understanding the Bible, and we can be at 20%, we can be at 40%, we can be at 60%, we can be at 80%, and we can be 100%. 100% is equal to Jesus level. Jesus understands it completely. So if my husband give me an equation, he would understand it, and he will be able to write some sentences here to carry out the proof, and then at the end, to prove it. Yeah. So Jesus Christ giving us the 4 Gospels. Jesus Christ understand it at 100% level. But we ourselves, whether we have that level, it depends on us. But in the fulfillment time, to hear God is to not just know it, but to understand it to the 100% level, to Jesus Christ level. So have you ever had a confirmation from God that you understand the Bible to the 100% level, to godly level? Most of us don't have that. Because God had a way of understanding it. We human are lowly, and we just look at our world now and we know we've got Catholic, Orthodox, and Christian. So we've got 3 different churches, and there are many different denominations in the Christian church as well. So there is obviously misunderstanding of the Word of God, of the Bible. And so in the spiritual kingdom, if we hear God, we read it, we know the parable, we don't understand it completely, then we haven't completely heard God. God speaks to us in parables. We have to understand all the parables to the full to completely get it. So if I say to my boyfriend, I love him, he understands that I have feeling for him in my heart. He knows that I love him. So, but spiritual, is not that easy. So God give us a spiritual body is for our physical bodies. So spiritual body is made for the physical body. And so God gives us physical intelligence, and God gives us spiritual understandings that is called wisdom, or you can call spiritual intelligence. So it's like in your forehead here, if you have wisdom, meaning God gives you a spiritual forehead, and God can close you. So let's just share a verse from 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 40 to 41. There are celestial bodies and there are terrestrial bodies, but the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another. There is one glory of the sun, another glory of the moon, another glory of the stars, for star differs from star in glory. So let's say your spiritual body is here given to you by God. It have spiritual forehead. And if God give you a spiritual forehead, your spiritual forehead can be clothed with either the glory of the star, the glory of the moon, the glory of the sun, or the 3 combined, or the 2 combined, whatever. But even if you have a little bit of spiritual star in your forehead, in your spiritual forehead, you have some kind of understanding of what God is speaking, that is in the Bible, the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. So in the fulfillment time, God wants us to have a spiritual forehead with the star, the glory of star, the glory of the moon, glory of the sun, to be filled in, meaning to be enriched. So, and you might even have a spiritual body, but without a spiritual forehead, spiritual forehead is given also like a separate part of spiritual body. So like I got my hands, my hand is separate. It is part of my physical body, but it is a different part. And so God can give you that in the fulfillment time. God can give you a spiritual forehead with His wisdom to be able to understand all that He speaks. And we can claim this. We can surrender to Jesus. For this miracle has already happened. The design had been completed. Jesus heals the deaf. He said, "Father, be opened." In the fulfillment time, Jesus can heal you of your spiritual deafness. That is, you may read it, we don't understand it, or we don't understand it to God level. And so we surrender to Jesus to receive the fulfillment, to receive completely understandings of all that is spoken by Jesus Christ. And when you understand it completely, it means you have spiritual hearing. You can hear God. Because like if I say to my boyfriend that, "Oh, I love you," but he didn't really get it. He cannot figure out that, oh, my heart moved with love for him. He cannot figure out that I have feelings for him. Then he heard it physically, but he not really get it, So in order to be spiritually with good hearing, we've got to understand the Bible to the fullness level, and we can claim this. We can all surrender to Jesus and say, "Jesus, you healed the deaf man. Please give me the fulfillment healing. That is to heal me of my spiritual deafness." And so Jesus can give you a spiritual forehead with clothing with the glory of the star, the glory of the moon, or the glory of the sun. Now that is the big point of this miracle. But there's another smaller point, that is, in the fulfillment time, God speaks to us, each of us individually. And so when Jesus died on the cross, the temple, the curtain was torn into, and that is the physical, the design. The fulfillment is everybody can enter the Holy of Holies. Everybody can have a relationship with God. That is, everybody can have a spiritual mailboxes. And when we have spiritual mailbox, God communicate with us, God talk to us. And we can hear that. If we can hear God saying to us, then we have the fulfillment of this miracle, that is spiritual hearing. And God talk in various ways, in many ways. God talk to us about things that are about, in the future that may happen, it will happen to us. God talk to us about things that might happen tomorrow, individually God talk to us. So when we have a relationship with God, God talk to us, and we can hear God. We understand what God's saying to us. We have spiritual hearing, and we have the fulfillment of this miracle. So that's it from me. Thank you for joining me.